forgot to hit the record. Okay, just hit the record. But welcome everyone, and I'm doing a stream tonight against Brady on Nadu on Bat Nadu. And it should be fun. I This exercise actually I think is already going to be fruitful because I realize again my game one against Brady's not going to line up very well. So and I looked at the MTG Goldfish, and I think based on the current metagame, and I kind of mentioned this on older streams, but uh, endurance unfortunately doesn't really line up well outside of Reanimator and Oops. It tends to be bad against everything else because that's just good deck building from other decks trying to avoid the graveyard splash damage. Um, in the interest of being a what is the word I'm looking for? Trying to be a oh, I had the word earlier, but in the interest of being a honorable competitor, I'm not gonna make the change to swap the snuff outs to the main. But I think going forward, that's probably the correct move. But that's why I'm saying I think this exercise already been fruitful. I'm gonna go ahead and message Brady right now so he can send the challenge. I do expect to lose game one in this match. Let me see if this is correct. Like and then we'll see how post sport games go. But I like I said, I do expect to lose game one against Brady. For those of you curious, we are gonna play 4 matches. Um, ugh, this is not where I want to be. And each of them will be $25 each. We originally had $50 per match, but then I figured we want a higher sample size. Um, I don't think we just mold to natural order. This is like a pretty weak hand. If we know what Brady is on, I don't know if we can mold this, but this is like not. It's not gonna get much better on a 6. I think we just well, it's all in on white more or less. Can we do? I think we mulligan this. This is better, but still dicey. Kenai doesn't do anything here. Everything else is reasonable. Given we know the matchup. F6. Like I said, I think going forward, we probably do want to snuff out main. I do expect to, like I said, to lose game one. I was actually thinking 3-1 the other way. Because Snuff Out is really good against certain decks, and Endurance is really good against 2 decks. And like I said, my logic there was I my logic is mostly that all the other decks just trying to dodge graveyard splash damage, so I don't know how good Endurance really is. All right, I think the game is probably already over. I'll concede in the interest of time. I don't think I'm winning this game. Like I said, yeah, it's gonna be a problem. because it's a guaranteed draw 6, probably more. Draw 12, draw 18, right? Here's where it gets interesting. Was he on the play? Yeah, so we're on the play the next game. The Snuffouts can come in. I think the Dreaded Knight is fine. We do have a lot of cards that we can bring in. I don't like Talon Gates because they should be just answering our thing on the front side, and they have prismatic ending which is why Talon Gates would be relevant, but that can just hit our pithing needle as well. Something is off here. I think I don't want the Safekeeper. And then the one Shepherd as a pump spell is probably reasonable. Forget. Okay, I think this is in the deck. It's just not showing. Hopefully that registers. Something is here is not supposed to be, and I can't figure out why. I guess we'll find out. Sure, snap keep. Do we have it the way we think we have it? I think we do, yeah. I think I'm okay. If I'm gonna cut the Talon Gates, we keep the basic. But good thought. And I don't love the second Shepherd for what it's worth either. I mean, it would be obviously decent here, but I think Brady know. Well, I don't know how Brady plays, but I assume he knows where he's supposed to hit turn one dork. It's gonna be multiple matches. It's gonna be at least 4. Question here is like, do we just ignore the Tamio? Like, do we? I guess do we care? He has 6 cards in hand. I feel like if he's spending mana to draw a card with Tamio, we probably just don't even care. Like, I don't know if we care about this card. The game will probably be long decided. I mean, if Brady has to, crack clue tokens, I think that's probably gonna bode well for us. Sure. Actually, it might be worth it now because of the plus is kind of annoying. Might have been better to just do it before the brainstorm. Interesting that they kept that. I'm gonna draw a step, see what we have here. I think we cycle this away right now. Mm, Pass. Sure. This is interesting. We're gonna get a. What are we naming here? Probably just nomads. There's a chance. Yeah, I think maybe I'm supposed to board out one force and keeping the other shepherd, as Decent mentioned. No, I think the deck is already playing a lot of fetches to support snuff out. But yeah, the basic makes sense. I mean, I don't think it mattered here because that wasn't one of the options. But the any longer game probably favors them because they have a grind engine we don't. So we're not playing for if we run out of fetches, so be it. We just gotta hope they don't have another removal spell. We untap with white. I feel pretty good about this game, but they have like six removal spells, so there's we're probably not gonna untap with white. But the fact that they're pausing gives me some hope. If they crack a clue token, that's a very good sign. I don't think we care like about this that much. The flip was an issue with the previous board state because we had no pressure. Like we were all in a natural order. Okay. I wonder if they left green up because they have a dork to cast. I mean, I guess they already have white, so that's the logic, right? For we're tapped out, so there's nothing we can do. Our line is pretty straightforward from here. Assuming irrelevant top decks, White's gonna have to get a lair, and we're gonna try to close this game out in 2 turns. That's the current line. I do know. They are just a normal Nadu. It's a given. Okay, that's not gonna work out. I think we probably lost this one. Oof, Veil Summer. Mm-hmm. Sure. Should be game. I think we're dead. Uh, we just couldn't answer their Tamio with our hand. We didn't have enough. What's it called? We didn't have enough pressure. Okay, it doesn't matter. They can just draw their deck after this. Let me see. Play lobby, run it back. Uh, see if he's creating the match. Oh, oops. I can create it. That was match one. That's correct. Oh, I know the word I was looking for. Ethical is the word. Uh, can I get these hands against? See, that's the thing. If that's endurance as a stump, I'm keeping that hand. But now I can't. So I do expect to lose game one again. Like I said. So for Joff, anybody tuning in right now, I mentioned at the beginning of the stream that this exercise I think has already been fruitful even before we played a single game because I thought about um where the deck, how endurance is positioned in the metagame. Obviously, it's terrible in this matchup, but it occurred to me that losing Ignoble Hierarch does not really weaken Snuff Out, and Snuff Out actually lines up quite well against the rest of the game that is, essentially looking to dodge Graveyard Hate, and Snuff Out is good against Tamio too. So, um, I think it is a good change that I'm gonna probably make regardless of the results tonight. Yeah, it makes sense. Like it doesn't line up very well, I think, against the current metagame. Oh, it helps a ton. It's insane in that match. It's the I think it's arguably the best card. Like it in natural order. Like typically solo these non-blue creature matchups. I think three snuff out. To be honest, I don't think we're losing to Reanimator. I'm gonna dare them to have the turn two. Like that's the thing. I don't think we need endurance, especially with Keen Eye Curator, to beat Reanimator game one. Now it helps obviously against Oops. So who cares about Oops? Like that deck is coin flippy anyways. Exactly. Now I don't want to make excuses, like I said, but I did realize this uh, as I was thinking about this matchup leading up to the matchup tonight. I don't know if they have endurance or not, but like I think we just bait the removal and pass. Surprise. The aggro plan starts. That's actually quite good too. They can't cast endurance, so I don't think there's any flash creature I need to worry about, right? That's awkward to not have the second one, but we still do it. We can get a 7/7 Keen Eye, and then this will be 3/4, 4/4. I don't think that does anything really. Do they keep they put land on top? Let's put some of the 3 if they don't block. Take the ponder. Take the STP. Might steal game 1 here because looks like Brady hasn't drawn his combo yet, and he's gonna have to chump next turn as well. Sure. Okay. So this has to be at least a 7. Oops, that doesn't work. Where's the armor? Oh, I exiled the armor. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I cast the other thing, that's 3. This makes it 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, hold on. If I cast this, that makes it 4. 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's wrong. I cannot attack then. So I don't like Echoing Deeps personally. Draw, it's terrible. If we cast the Endurance, it's not lethal, so it's not worth it to me. We have to force the block. If Brady had the Nadu, he would have slammed it already, I think. So my guess is his hand is probably a ponder or something. I know, right? That's what I'm saying. I think regardless of the outcome tonight, I think this exercise has already been worth it because I think it would have taken us slower to realize snuff out should be in the main. Interesting. Okay. Ugh, that swords probably locks it up. Ugh. I actually, if Brady doesn't hit the swords, the Kenai probably gets there too because, well, that's not true because he draws 6 or 12. I guess the question here is like, is there an out? And I'm not sure there is. Yeah, like I said, this endurance. If this is a snuff out, I think we win that game. And I think, like I said, for ethical reasons, I didn't want to change the deck list beforehand because I'll mention this is just the latest one I posted. I don't think there's an out. I'm trying to think what the kill is from Brady's side. Maybe it's like getting a cub and like put a bunch of trample on it or something. Although I don't know what's preventing Brady from decking himself besides the one maybe endurance main. That's I think he just makes a large cat then and just like kills my stuff. Yeah, let's just concede. I think Jarvis was saying Cradle not his favorite to ban. Prob I can see that being true because they have. It just depends like who has more utility, right? Like you get you're flexible against more decks, but then you give up like some percentage points into the mirror. So I mean that like makes complete sense. But like I said, the change there, we win the game, right? Like the snuff out if we're holding that instead of the endurance. Oh, Shepherd can come out. Ugh, wish I had a second land here. I feel like this is a keep though. Has one piece of removal. Everything else is a one drop. I don't think you can ask for better than this, or much better than this. Ideally, we have another land, but yeah. So Cradle Nadu is favorite. At least game one against Bant because it's just a faster deck, right? Bant has like cantrips. It has like random things like Sidekill Cat that just doesn't do anything. What else? Plays an endurance that doesn't do anything, right? Like the more streamlined your deck is, the more you should be favored in the mirror. At least game one. Obviously, game two, the deck that has streamlined game one is probably gonna have less sideboard slots. This hand would have been perfect. It had one more land. Mm, okay. Veil of Summer. That's not gonna do anything. I think we just take the prismatic ending here. I don't think we actually care about the Veil of Summer. It can cantrip because we want the Dreadnought to stick, and they're likely gonna stick the Nomads on core. So it's probably just gonna work out really nicely for us. Right. I'm gonna assume he's gonna play it out. Oops. Did I exit a card? I think I exit the land. Hedge mage. Yeah. There it is. Anyways. If he holds the thing, the Veil of Summer, that's fine. Then he's just not gonna develop his mana. Oops, I cannot do that. Ooh, not having the second Arbor here hurts. So he's gonna Veil me here. Nope. There's a there's a chance I'm supposed to play the Dread Knight there. Um. Okay. We're gonna sack a creature here. That Once Upon a Time is actually kind of good here for a different reason. We are like getting hurt this game by the Arbor, but that's okay, I guess. We better play this now. So Brady's gonna have to go pending into combo, or the thing is gonna come down. The needle is gonna come down, and I think it's gonna be too many lock pieces. But the only thing that's hurting us right now is we're like tied up on mana because of that Arbor. Do we want the spare mana? I don't think we actually care about making a construct. Force? Okay. He could, but let me see. What do we want here? I think a reclaimer, probably. Argument to be made. We're supposed to get the shepherd there. Sure. Yeah, I I think that's a mistake on our hand. Sure. Let's do that. I think we. What do we do here? It can make a bunch of creatures. We can't attack. Let's do this. It's 1-0 in favor of Brady right now. But I mentioned at the beginning, we should probably have Snuff out main after I thought about this, the metagame at a whole. But I didn't want to change it beforehand for ethical reasons. I think we want to just bash with Shepherd. Actually, that one thing is like really killing us right now. It's occurring to me. Not having the Arbor is really, really killing us right now. That's probably a problem. The swords. Pass. We have exactly. We would be short if we tried to do some shenanigans right now with the green sun for one. They probably swords and response. We boarded out the safekeeper too. Yeah. I think we just bash and see what happens. Not having the snuff out cost us game one earlier. For what it's worth in this game, in this match too, because it was an endurance that otherwise was useful or useless in this matchup. The nice thing is the whites kind of protect each other. I think I just do that. Actually, that was a mistake. I should gain more life. I don't think it matters, but it could. No, actually, it doesn't gain more life. misspeaking because I pitched it. The good thing is he's cut on mana. He's only at 4. And the safekeeper, while good, is not like great here. And we have they can't win through nomads. Is the other thing. The tough part is actually we did board out our what is it called, talent gates, and maybe based on how the game is playing out, we should leave one in. The shepherd did help close for whatever that's worth, and the land ended up not mattering, so maybe that's okay. All right, to game 3. Like, are we just gonna keep this low to the ground? Like, we can't play a long game against them anyways, so maybe this is not worth it. The shepherd like did help close the game, so I think let's just run it back. Hey, JR, how's it going? Thank you for the raid. We are down a match, and it's going to game 3 in the second match here. We're playing against Brady in Cradle versus Nadu. I left the open what's it called it money match for anybody to play against me, and then he accepted the challenge. We're gonna probably play 4 matches. I mentioned at the beginning for everybody coming in from JR's stream. Hope you had a good stream, by the way. What is maybe I should board this in because they may allow the white to live now if they know how we boarded. Thank you. Take it easy. Yeah. For those of you coming in from JR's stream, I mentioned that this exercise has already been fruitful. I think because I think the snuff out should probably be main deck instead of the endurance. Because the thing is, outside of Reanimator, which I think we're favored against anyways, all the black cards but no value. Outside of Reanimator and Oops, I don't really want Endurance. I think game 1. And Reanimator, I think we can beat without Endurance. I think that matchup, if they don't turn to you, they can't win. Like for the most part, like they have to have some combination of Entomb, Reanimate, like turn 1 and 2. And if they don't, I don't see how they're beating a Wide Reliquary. That's the other thing. Dork, sure. So question here is like, do we get rewarded for playing Dork on 1? I don't think so. So I'm gonna seize on 1 now to play around Veil. I don't think I care about swords. So I'll take the Green Sun. That's my logic, right? Are we rewarded? Are we rewarded for seizing on one? And the answer is no. Sorry, for ramping on one, the answer is no. So and then we're gonna just slam Atraxa here. That that might be game if we can survive another turn here. I think they're gonna yeah. I think they're gonna dig. Okay. Question here is well, they can probably swords our tracks in response. That's fine. Snuff out, land, green sun, ride of the reliquary. Anything else? I think that's it. Done. It depends. Our game one configuration, at least the one I didn't want to change it, based on our revelation this earlier tonight, is very bad against them. I like usually don't win game. I generally don't win game one again with this configuration against them. I mean, they have a source to plowshares for what it's worth. It's just whether they want to hit it or not. So we could hit Nadu right now. It's just I'm not sure it's worth it. Like they do have a Veil Summer, but I think we can just save it to be honest. In case they draw a Green Sun, right? Like I don't want to. I think we hit it now, but they might have Veil. That's quite good. Mm, yeah, I'm debating how to sequence this. So the question is, if we get Shepherd, that's the relying on the Wild Reliquary. I think I'd rather just get a Reclaimer to be honest, in case they have removal spell, and then the Reclaimer can pitch the dead lands too, right? They gotta land off the was it the green sun? But I think I'm okay with that. The game is no longer about mana denial. It was earlier, but not anymore. Like this, we've entered the mid slash late game. It's really awkward Shepherd in this matchup because the best cards are all black. Okay. I don't know where you're at. Because they're gonna answer before you can kill it. Oh, actually, okay. I made that was a mistake on my behalf. I was supposed to leave a stop and I didn't. I'm not sure it matters too much. It's gonna matter some. I should have had a thing earlier. Uh, okay. Did they have a kill? Oh, okay. Nothing I can do there. I don't think there's a way out of this, given that they're at 15. It's not like the previous game. I'm trying to quickly do the math, and yeah, I don't think I'm winning this game. The only thing I can think of is like a shepherd. They should draw into removal though. Yeah, they have a swords. Uh, I'll concede. I think. View sideboard. Yeah, I don't think there's an out. Concede. It's gonna be real rough, like I said. Let me talk to Brady real quick. I guess I can challenge Brady again and then see what happens. If we're down 0-3, I think we should play the snuff out main. But game one is very hard otherwise. Oh, he declined. Interesting. We'll leave it alone. We'll leave it alone. We can discuss after the game. I'm okay. If I like I said, the gains have already been acquired, and oh, oops. Okay. I messed up, but it's okay. He should be on the play this one. I messed up. He should so Brady should be on the play the next match. Yeesh. Yikes. I think we have to take the land here to like exchange it later. And just like naturally hit land drops. Ooh. I didn't really want to keep that hand, but like we do have a plan for what it's worth, like Shepherd. But this is like very awkward now. Uh, Might be just a goldfish, to be honest, from Brady here. Sure. Let's play that. I think we're probably just dead, to be honest. I think they have the turn 3. Sure. Something we can do. Did he just hit all lands? Jeez. I think we're just dead. We'll just concede here. Not beating that. Because the thing is, it's at least another draw 16 or whatever it is, right? I think 21 lands is fine. Like I said, the exercise is just to get good practice, and like I said, it's unfortunately I realized this right before they match, and I don't want to change it for ethical reasons. But definitely a change going forward. I think that we can, like I said, I don't think we need endurance to beat Reanimator, and if we don't need that, then it's really only good against Oops. I'd rather have Snuff Out, which is good against the stuff that endurance tends to be bad against. Like not 100% of the time, but just as a general rule. What do we like? Maybe we just keep in the talent gates. Like we've been able to untap, so I don't hate that. I don't love Safekeeper. At least because we've had active Reclaimer and White before, and I think maybe one Shepherd as a pump is probably just good enough. All the relevant spells are black, anyways. Sure. No Snuff Out, but we have Natural Order, and I think they have to respect Snuff Out and Thoughtseize, so we can just keep a generically good hand. Now, if they kept a Goldfish hand, then we're SOL, but I don't think we can pass up this kind of hand. That's like on the play proactive. Sure. That's a good sign for us. I always joke that whenever I'm on the play and my opponent goes turn one ponder, it feels like they've lost already. Like I think ponders aged very poorly and will continue to age poorly. Like against like any of these Demir decks, I go turn one door, they go turn one ponder. In my mind, the game's like over. This is a different story, obviously, but like I said, against the Demir decks, or even against the Izzet decks, right? Like turn one ponder on the draw, like that's the death sentence. Let's do that. They might have to force this. That tells me they probably have removal and they're saving for the reclaimment. That's why they have to let the thing go. Should be a ooh no. 2 nomads on core, and they don't have white. I just take the Nadu here. Do I take the tutor? I think I take. So the thing about the Nadu here is then they're on one turn clock. The other way is like less efficient. Maybe I just take the Nadu here. Play that out, and then slam natural order. Snuff out, Cradle. I don't think Seize matters here. Well, maybe it does, depending what they draw. So the debate here is like Green Sun or Seize, and I think the answer is pro. So the Seize can take their Green Sun, they're gonna hold it. Otherwise, they just ramp, and then the Seize is dead. Actually, I know what's that line. I'm gonna Seize next turn. I'm gonna snuff out the Dork here. Yeah, that's the line. And just like played Mana Denial. Right? Like they're cut off on lands now. We should know their hand, I think. Take their Green Sun. Actually, I keep making that stupid mistake. Like I'm supposed to. Let's do it now. Like because I'm playing too loosely. Before I forget again. I cost myself a turn off the clock on the saga. I like remembered it and then I forgot. Like, maybe I just need to leave the note the thing there. Ye mm, I think I just bash with all right now. Leave the reclaimer back, 'cause I think we had did we leave in the yeah, I brought it in. That's good. I think we attack with all. Does it? I think that cuts the clock by one turn. But yeah, the needle's late a turn because of my misclick or me drawing through it. Okay. All right. So we got that. Can we win a game three though? I think I like the way I boarded the talent gates. Like in case they top deck removal off the Nadu, like these desperation, like safekeeper plays. Probably just keep it in to be honest. For the talent gates. Safekeeper, I'm not sure is worth it. It's like poor sequencing. I'm like never gonna tutor for it. This is like quite good. And the magic question again here is like, are we rewarded for turn one ramp? I think in this case we are. I think the winning play there was recognizing you can snuff out their dork and then seize their thing. Uh, Here we're rewarded again, like I said, for ramping, so I'm gonna do that. Dork. The green open is scary because of the Veil Summer. Like they have one, but like and we've been it before. It's just feels bad when it happens. The other thing is like, yes, endurance is like protects us against the Demir turn two like cheese plays, but we're hedging that their deck is inconsistent, not gonna be able to kill us turn two like the 20% of the time, anyways. We're probably gonna get got here. Okay. Green open. Are we gonna play around it or not? Like, They're F6ing, which means that maybe it's time to seize. I think we take the green sun. They can have the swords. No, I don't want that to happen. We were gonna name no mods anyway, so they're gonna swords us. I think we take the green sun now. Because that can be anything, right? In hindsight, like I don't think we play around this, even though they represent Veil of Summer. I think we're supposed to seize, and if they do Veil us, we play the Needle, play the Arbor, sorry, play the Finhorn, play the Arbor, and then be mana efficient. Now, obviously, they'll probably, based on that lineup, they probably hold the swords for a later turn, anyways. But then we just don't accidentally die here too, like no mods, right? Like we just left ourselves naked for no reason. Sure. Now that would have lost the top deck that though, which would have been awkward. Sure. We can't attack. Question is like, do we care to needle here? I think we name Caracas here actually. Exalted, not so much. Although this game kind of matters. The black I've definitely missed for sure. That's pretty good. Uh, Cradle or Lair? Probably Cradle. I don't think Saga really does it. Well, I think Cradle turns on Green Sun immediately. We drew the Lair anyway, so that's okay. I think we grind here with Saga. Hmm. Okay. This is gonna be 5 mana, 6 mana. Sure. How much mana do we have? I think we just make that big, right? Actually, we don't want to spend that much mana. Let's just pass. The Shepherd Pump relevant this game. There's a mini hoof. Sure. Okay, now we're on the board. We're 1-2. I'm gonna ask for a quick restroom break. And I'll be back. All right, I'm back. The thing about Ignoble's Max is it's really good in the fair matchups, but it's like game losing in the unfair matchups where you really want those 5/5s. So it depends what you want to play against. Except again, we have not won a single game one yet, but that is to be expected with this configuration. And while I don't expect to beat Oops game one for what it's worth too, so I think the change is pretty easy to make. Let's try this again. I don't expect to win game one. Hopefully, we can win both post board games. That hand would have been good too. We're like seeing it time again that it's costing us. Hmm. I think it's the Reclaimer. Well, we have two elves. It's probably not fast enough. Yeah, it's probably gotta be the Reclaimer, and then the Reclaimer can turn on the mana. It might not have mattered anyways for what it's worth. I think we're dead though. They kept 7. They haven't interacted with us. We'll just try to win 2 post board games. Can we beat this actually? I don't think so, given that they were at 19 here. Like, what are the odds these 5/5s are gonna get through? I think low. We do have a safekeeper, but I don't think it's happening. Let's just concede in everybody's interest. Did that not go through? I think this is correct. Let me see. Yeah. Sunflower changes the whole game for what it's worth, but um, can't I don't want to dwell on that. This hand is a little bit slow, but I think, like I said, I think they have to respect that we could have removal. Uh, the once is like super awkward. I think we keep. It's not great though. The thing is, we do have a lot of live top decks. Ooh, Tamio. Interesting. This is the second Tamio game. Do you switch to elf dorks over goblin dorks for the outsiders? Yes. Otherwise, you will have a hard time against something like Keyring, which is very popular deck because it's like pretty easy to play, and then the ceiling's high. But the issue with this deck is it can't kill fast enough against those kind of decks. Like you're very reliant on natural order, and that deck is like trying to turn one, turn two you. So like natural order is gonna come down too slow, and you might not just draw it right. Like you can't just rely on natural order. So the shepherds have sped up the clock tremendously in that matchup, and I'm not a believer of relying on other people to do your bidding. So like other decks to beat other decks for you or whatever. What are we doing here? I guess we named it Tamio because it's annoying us. This is game two or three. I guess two. In hindsight, I think I should have mulled the hand because Shepard is almost like a mull already. Must be a ponder coming. Do I attack Tamio right now in case they pending the needle? Probably. The Caracas is gonna be a thorn in our side now. Just F6. They might have another one in case, and then we're just dead, right? Okay. Just F6. The Tamio proved to be pretty good here against us because we can't pressure the Tamio very well when they have a lot of creatures too. All right, cool. We went 1-3. I think if we had played the other configuration, potentially 2-2 or even 3-1, but it's hard to say. Let's just say you split it so it's 2-2, but 1-3 for now. Let me see if 1 second.
Hello?
Hey Brady, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let me make sure that my stream can hear you. Should be able to now. Oh, never mind.
Uh,
Unmute. Discord is not assigned to any audio tracks. Okay. I need to assign it to an audio track then. Let's put it on these tracks. Okay, that should be good. Should be set up now. Good games.
so, I guess I'll start. I mentioned at the beginning of my stream that one of the, if you want to call it epiphanies or whatnot, that I had before our match night, but I didn't want to change it. I wanted to use the last 75 that I had posted on my Discord just for consistency slash ethical reasons. Obviously, it's like you don't want to pre sideboard. It's almost like cheating, right?
Right, yeah.
So I didn't want to
I
do
need
that,
it.
but I did mention this is one of the gains of doing something like this where you're forced to think about the matchup beforehand. So I do think going forward, I mentioned um so my chat already knows this, but I'll loop you in. Long story short, uh a known thing about this Cradle deck is it plays for main deck endurance. And something I realized was I don't think you need endurance to beat Reanimator, and endurance is actually quite bad against the rest of the field. So I do think going forward, I would like to play Snuff Out main because Snuff Out tends to be
Mm,
good against, and the matchups endurance is bad against.
gotcha. Yeah, it was very nice in all of the game ones to just not worry at all about what you were doing.
Yeah, pretty much. I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I don't expect to win any game one, and that's pretty much how it turned out.
Yep. Yeah, there was that one in the second match, I guess, where it was pretty close, and I eventually drew out of it.
Yeah, I think that had more to do also with like you don't want to go to five, and you kind of just kept a okay hand or whatever, right? I'm assuming that's the case.
Um, yeah,
Let me see if I
yeah,
can
I don't
share.
remember the specifics
Let me see if I
because
can
I
share
ended up
screen.
at some point. Um, it'd be nice
So,
if Magic Online replays worked, but
oh, I know, right? I don't know why I can't share screen with you. 1 second. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Oh, here it is. All right, can you see my screen?
give me a sec.
Actually, it might be
Yes.
just easier if I actually if yeah if let me just screenshot and just send you it. That's probably just easier.
Okay, that also works. Yeah.
Here's the list I played. This is what, like I said, for ethical reasons I didn't change it.
Yeah, it's understandable.
So long story short, the other thing is the endurance or lack thereof. If I cut it or moved it to the sideboard and swapped it for the snuff outs, it's already somewhat covered by curator anyways. So there's that.
Hmm. Yeah, I do find myself with the endurance in my deck. It's almost always the worst card in my hand.
Yeah,
It is very nice to have after the combo, after to recycle stuff, but the rest of my cards are so good. And the decks play out differently, of course. Um, being a 3/4 is better for you than for me.
Yeah, for sure. I'm
But
assuming
still, like,
endurance is only there mostly to either reset delirium or cycle through your deck, right? Like so you don't deck yourself.
yeah, yeah. So it's like a panic button against reanimate or against doomsday, I guess.
Hmm.
But mostly to recycle things. Usually that's most relevant when you're going off with Safekeeper.
Hmm.
If you don't have endurance in your deck, you can sacrifice too many of your actual mana sources before finding nomads,
Hmm.
and then not actually be able to win from there.
Yeah, that makes sense because yeah, otherwise you don't have any vegetables, right? You just like like I think it happened one game where like
Oh yeah,
you
the
had to hail
safekeeper
mary
here.
the
I
safekeeper.
sacrificed 5 lands and hit no more lands and missed. Yep.
But yeah, I agree. Game one is not too interesting, especially with this configuration that I just sent you. Like, I can't really interact with what you're doing.
Hmm.
Um, but I think that changes like going forward. Uh, do you want to? I don't want to talk too much. Do you want to just kind of give your insights on the matchup, and then we can just like chit chat from there?
Um. Yeah. Let me think a little bit about that. Um. I so what I something that happened is that I changed how I was sideboarding as the matches progressed,
Hmm.
as I realized more how the games were playing out, like in the long run.
Hmm.
So at the very start, I was just boarding Prismatic Ending and Veil of Summer.
Makes sense.
And in previous matches, just in leagues, I wasn't sure how good Tamia was in the matchup
Uh huh.
because it is nice for grinding purposes,
Hmm.
but you can like if you have a bunch of creatures out, it's you can kind of ignore it and you're still going to attack me and I'm going to die. Um, but I did keep in Tamio and it was good for the reasons,
Yeah,
the
I
grinding reasons.
I was pleasantly
Yep.
surprised by Tamio as well. Like I didn't think it was that good in this matchup. Uh, but if you do have the off chance to flip it, my deck, especially this configuration with the elf package, has a hard time pressuring it because you have like chump blocks if need be,
Hmm.
and that's something I realized too. I'm assuming the other way you board it too is you brought in the Liberator once you realize how the end game tends to play out.
Right, yeah. I figured if it was just one Urza Saga and one Pithing Needle, then Liberator might be dead too much, and I could just rely on Prismatic Ending.
Hmm.
Um, but with the additional Needle and the Dread of Night,
Hmm.
having the Liberator as an option is really nice.
Yeah. I mean, it won the one game I think from off the top of my head.
Hmm. Yeah, to kill the Dread of Night when the last card in my hand was Nomads. Yeah, so it made my live top decks go from two Prismatic Ending to two Prismatic Ending and three Green Suns, which is a lot more.
Hmm. Uh, I guess are you live streaming at the moment too, or just
Yes,
recording?
I am.
Okay. I guess is there anything your stream uh wants to ask me, and then I guess I'll leave it to the floor. Anybody from my stream wants to ask you.
All right, chat, take it away.
So nobody yet from my side. What about yours?
Yeah, me neither. Um, Question from Ryan. Any hard feelings towards DSET for helping to organize this?
No, not at all. Actually, what turns out to be so initially we decided on I guess for full disclosure for chat, right? We decided on $50 per match in two matches, but we felt like the variance could be pretty high for that, and that may not give a representative feel. So we updated it later on for four matches, and then $25 per match. And I think we got a better sense of like how the games can potentially play out. I think that was a good change, personally.
Yeah, I think that was good as well.
So, and also, like I said, if Disa had not arranged this, I don't think it would have probably taken me longer because I wouldn't actively think about the matchup and just the metagame in general. It would probably take me longer and to arrive at the fact that the snuff outs right now are pretty good, like against most of the field, and at least maybe I was considering like before we even played even any games tonight, when I was putting my son to sleep, like swapping three snuff outs for three endurance in the main, keeping one obviously for tutor reasons or whatever.
Hmm. Yeah, free spells very strong. Part of the reason why Tameo is so good is that like even in the spots where it's just okay, it still only costs 1 mana. So like the opportunity cost to cast it is so low, and for a card that can sometimes like draw 2 to 3 cards or win the game on its own.
Yeah, actually, on that note, that's actually another reason why, like, I came to the conclusion that Snuff Out should probably be replacing the Endurance, is because a lot of the blue decks, if not all of them, all play Tameo anyway, so it's gonna be live most of the time.
Right. Yeah, and then being able to interact with it quickly is
Yeah,
a
free
good
is
thing to be able
broken
to
right
do.
now.
Yeah.
The other thing is on that note, that it's actually I guess for those who have been following this version, it's actually why I made the shift to Shepherd as well because for the same reasons why, you're playing Tamiya, right? Like, it's 1 mana, the ceiling is pretty high to protect a natural order. It, you can pitch it to Wide of the Reliquary if it's bad in the matchup, so to speak, and
Mhm.
it turns on your Cradles even faster.
Yeah. Yeah, and I transitioned from having post board 4 Force of Will to 3 Force of Will to 0 Force of Will, and partly because of Shepherd, but also because of Thoughtseize and wanting other cards.
That makes sense. For full disclosure, I guess for those who are curious, I only brought in one Shepherd against you.
Yeah, I figured there was only one, but
Like,
still it feels really bad if it just happens to be there.
yeah. I mentioned in the chat where like I probably should have mulled one hand where I kept it because I had another card that was kind of irrelevant. So it's like almost like a virtual mold two, virtual double mulligan already, right? Because Shepherd is presumably bad because I'm assuming it only catches a force, and that's if you even keep force in.
Right, yeah, and then, like, even if I have Force,
Hmm.
it is a card but like you said, it's a mulligan, so it's a card that you don't have, so it's
Exactly.
it's just trading for the Force, and if it
I
was, like, a white and I forced it, then I'm down a blue card.
exactly no, that makes total sense. Like I really only kept it in because, and it was relevant one game where the 5/5s can matter.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like a mini hoof, right? Quick question. This is kind of a joke question from Decent. Can we convert you to Cradle or reconvert you?
Um, no, I'm solidly on Team Jarvis
Oh,
of
okay. How
it
funny.
he has convinced me to play good decks.
I'm gonna have to talk to Jarvis about that because I told Decent just like on in DMs. I don't know how it got brought up. I said because I think he mentioned that because he goes to the same weekly as you guys. I told
Mhm.
Decent I think Jarvis would top 8 Eternal Weekend if he played this deck, and 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 as proof of concept, I will refund him entry if he does not. But he didn't want to take up me on that offer, or at least relay through Decent, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That offer extends to you for what it's worth.
Okay.
In case
Um,
you run cold right now with your deck. Obviously, I know you've been doing really well, but if you do run cold for in the next, let's just say, month or so, that offer extends to you too.
alright, I'll keep that in mind.
Does your chat have any what's it called questions for me about my deck? Again, I left the floor open to my chat to ask you any about questions about your deck if you want to. I guess can you send me your current list or the whatever list you played tonight, and then I'll just share it with my screen, and then maybe
Yeah.
they'll have a question.
Let me get the screenshot. There is a follow-up question from Ryan, and it is, when are you coming to the DMV area so we can rematch in person?
Oh, It's tough. I'm not even going to Eternal Weekend. Like I just have a lot going on right now. I'm in the process of moving for what it's worth.
Oh, okay.
And then my son is 2 at the moment, and Terrible Twos. I'm finding that out the hard way. So I didn't want to just ditch my wife for a whole weekend, and that's the long story short. It's a combination of those two things.
That's reasonable, yeah. Those seem more important. But eventually we will meet in person.
Okay, let me copy this and then open link. All right. I'm sharing I'm sharing your deck list now with my chat. Oh, that does remind me, since you're simultaneously streaming, I did have a question once I was thinking about your deck. I think I forgot when it was, because you obviously have been doing really well with these 5-0s, but uh, I'm assuming all the 1-ofs in the sideboard is probably for the same reasons why I can't really afford to do that because the value of every card is not really the same. But I'm assuming you do that because it makes it more difficult for opponents to play around.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, so because the assembling Nadu and Nomads um, ends the game immediately,
Hmm.
you care about the game up until then, which doesn't necessarily take that long. So you'll interact like once or twice on average, and at that point it maybe doesn't matter which of the two um, cards that you actually draw. So the list I played at Steel City was 2 copies of Force of Vigor, 2 copies of Consign, 2 copies of Fairy Macabre, and the rest were 1-ofs, if I
Hmm.
remember correctly. Um, a- and then putting Tamios in, so it started off with 4 Tamio, which pushed the Soul Cauldron and Prismatic Ending to the sideboard.
Hmm.
Um, and to make space for that, I just cut everything down to 1.
Hmm.
And I did decide that I wanted to bring back the second copy of Force of Vigor and Consign to Memory, just because they're so high impact in the matchups that they matter in. But then everything else, yeah, there are spots where you draw 2 carpets or 2 Veil Summers, and the second one is really bad.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. About the two consigns and two force of vigor. Just because you really want to see them in the matchups that they're relevant. That actually, on that note, I do have two questions. One from chat and then one from me. Chat is asking, "Are you sold on four ponder?" I think I know the answer to that. Uh,
Yes.
yeah,
Um,
you need the
every,
blue count too.
every once in a while, I will board out a Ponder, but you probably shouldn't do that. And then, yeah, play for Ponder in probably any blue deck. Um, well,
So
any Ponder deck.
so the backdrop of that was the reason why it's probably being asked in chat too is because I mentioned one game I was on the play. I think I went turn one dork and then you went turn one ponder, and then I said this is a different deck, but anytime like a blue black deck does that against me, I feel the game is already over. They've already lost.
Right. Yeah, I did feel pretty behind at that point.
So that's probably why chat asked. But I said combo is a little bit different because you can make up for it because of your combo. But in general, if I'm playing some kind of blue black deck, if they do that turn one, I think the game is already over. Like personally,
Yeah, Ponder on turn 1 isn't great. Usually Ponder on turn 1 is because you're looking for lands. And you already have combo pieces in hand.
right?
Um, and then Ponder on turn 3 or turn 4, or with a Nadu in play, is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, for sure. So the other thing is, so that's question number. My question that I had was, I definitely know the Cradle Nadu deck has a very difficult time against Moon Stompy. I would imagine your deck is a little bit better because you have Force of Will, but it's probably pretty tough too, right?
Yeah, it is pretty tough. Um, Try not to face that matchup.
Is there any other matchups you want to avoid?
um, Doomsday isn't great. It's because It's fast combo and pretty hard to interact with. Like, I'm fine against Storm because of Collector Roof and Gaddock Teeg,
Mhm.
but against Doomsday, you really only have Endurance. Um, Anything else? Probably not. I think I'm decently happy with the
What
other
was the other one? I
matchups.
missed it. Besides Doomsday that you said,
Um,
or
I don't think. Yeah, just Moonstomping and Doomsday.
okay.
I would want to avoid.
I'm
There,
assuming you're okay with the keyring matchup then because of consign.
yeah. Um, I think the addition of Gaddock Teeg changed that matchup quite a bit
Hmm.
because when your only bullet is Collector Roof, that stops them somewhat, but not like enough. It doesn't stop Karn. It doesn't stop Kozilek's command.
Yeah, Kozilek
Um,
Command is to me the problem card for Collector.
mhm.
And the other thing that I found in that matchup, like obviously different Green Sun deck, Zenith deck, but the mana base being immune to Force of Vigor is also problematic.
Right, yeah. So at one point I had a Lavinia in my deck,
Hmm.
which would come in against Forge, but then they would just play 4 lands, and I would still lose.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, and go ahead.
Yeah. So I had one more thing I think to say about Matt. Oh, right. Against Red Painter, it's not. I think it's a favored matchup, but I do like to board out Force of Will. So if they just play a very fast Magus of the Moon, I'm just accepting to lose to that post board.
Hmm.
Because other than like turn 1 or turn 2, Magus Force of Will is pretty bad. Although I did have one game recently where they played a turn 1 Magus, and then I top decked Basic Forest, and then I top decked Basic Plains, and I won the game. So
Wow, that's pretty nice. I will say.
sometimes you get there.
My favorite is obviously I don't want to rely on luck, but when you sandbag the basic right, and they like go all in on the turn one moon, and then you have the counterplay set up early.
Yeah, that is nice. Yeah,
Uh,
last year at Eternal Weekend, I played a Generous Ent. And my opponent put a moon into play, and I'm like, all right, fetch island and forest cycle for forest, and I'm set.
nice.
But again, Ent is still just a one of, so it's not super consistent.
Is it because you did you play an ent over another basic force in the sideboard because you can tutor for it, or was there a specific reason?
Um,
I guess you can pitch it to force of vigor too.
yeah, so it's a green card to pitch, and if you're not getting basic forest, then you can get a surreal land or a dual land. The
Hmm.
idea is that even so, it's good against moon matchups to get the basic, but against wasteland matchups, you just have an extra mana source,
Oh, I see. Yeah,
and it doesn't necessarily have to be the basic.
makes sense. It's just another land more or less,
Yeah,
and the
tap
tempo hit
land.
you can live with.
Mhm.
Uh,
Probably. I've thought about the trade-offs between forest and ent before.
I guess one thing I wanted to mention too was you know how I talked about the snuff out, for future purposes going to the main. For what it's worth, of those 4 game ones, I knew I would lose all 4 game ones, but 2 of them I died with endurance in my hand. So like, it was pretty
Yeah,
brutal.
certainly would have been good.
Yeah, I think one of them. Oh, actually, that reminds me. Yeah, I had one of them. I had the bottom the endurance because I mulliganed already, and then the other one I died with an endurance in hand on the one. It was the 1 game one that was kind of close,
Hmm.
and then obviously that would have been a game saver there. But in general, you probably already noticed this, but I like go after your Mandadorks pretty aggressively, and I don't know what your thoughts about on that are. I'm sure you noticed that, but like if you think that's correct or not.
Yeah, and I do think that's correct because um, it's not the easiest to explain why. Obviously, it's nice to like get rid of the mana. Um, and if you wait for Nadu or Nomads, it's probably I have the agency to play around that. And if you just like targeted Nadu, it's a 2-for-1 for me.
Right.
Um, and there are a decent number of spots where it need the extra mana from the mana dork.
Hmm.
So um, it's not relevant in this matchup, but against Force of Will matchups, they can remove halfling to try to make it so they can counter the spell, but then it also like removes the mana, so maybe can't even cast the spell in the first place.
No,
Halfling is
go ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah, I just found like to remove the essentially modality of Green Suns then for lack of a better term and forcing that to be ramp or if you don't even have it right sometimes it just like wins the game by itself right if you're relying on the mana dork and you just don't have it right the mana.
Right, yeah. Yeah, halfling is interesting because it doesn't really cast any other spells.
Hmm.
It does tap for colorless mana for, well, Green Sun Zenith mostly,
Hmm.
but Cub and Force of Will sometimes, as opposed to like a Noble Hierarch that would, that surviving would allow you to cast cantrips or Source of Plowshares.
Hmm.
But still, like, even then, the extra mana for Green Sun Zenith is so good. Or the ability to like cast a cantrip and then cast a Nadu,
Hmm.
stuff like that.
That actually got I have a question for you then I guess some people might be curious with the downtick of bowmasters has there been any consideration for you to make the swap with halfling or no with bow.
Um, so the power of Halfling, like the uncounterable
Mhm,
ability, is I think more valuable than the mana source of Noble Hierarch.
mhm.
So then it just then so I think I'm squarely on 4 Delighted Halfling in my deck, and then the question becomes: is there space for a 5th mana dork? And I think at this point the answer is no, because right now I'm cutting from 4 Tameo down to 2.
Right, right.
So it would be in place of Tameo, and I mean that might be good, but a lot of times, um, when you really want Noble Hierarch, you don't have it in play, so you have to play it, and then it has Summoning Sickness, or you have to Green Sun for it,
Mhm.
and that feels a little bit inconsistent because you give your opponent a whole nother turn.
Right.
It is interesting though with Soul Cauldron that does protect it a little bit. If you like have the Cauldron, then you're gonna get the mana source no matter what.
Mhm. Speaking of Cauldron, I didn't see that any game. Did you board it out?
I boarded it out the matches where I was keeping in Force of Will. Um, and I felt it was probably too slow, even though you have black removal. Like the extra counters doesn't really matter. Growing Nadu to a 4/5 doesn't really matter.
Mhm.
Um, and it's not like you have counter spells, so I can't go like nomads, you counter it, then play Cauldron. I have to chump block with the nomads first or something.
Right, that makes sense.
So I think it's a fine card to have. But it also doesn't do anything on its own, and so in matchups where there's a lot of interaction, um, would rather top deck something else.
No, no, that makes complete sense. It's actually the same reason why I actually boarded out Safekeeper too.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
like I'd rather just draw another threat, right? Like at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Um, and I boarded out one Shepherd, but I would rather personally have zero. It was just more so like there's a situation where it could just be like 5/5s attack, and then that came up one game.
Mhm.
Okay. I don't have any more questions personally for your list, but I like I said, I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, and I think I mentioned this already, but I felt like a big dog game one, at least with the existing configuration. Post sport, I felt personally slightly ahead or even, but a lot of that is like contextual on the hand too, right? I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah. Um, I think I also felt slightly ahead in post-board games.
Mhm.
Obviously, depends a lot on the hand. There's that one game two where um, I think the game where I played Ponder Hunter one,
Mhm.
and then the rest of my hand was like land, nomads, halfling, something else. Like if that Ponder didn't hit anything, I was pretty sure I was gonna lose.
Mhm.
Um, but I think because I have cantrips in my deck and Source to Plowshares,
Mhm.
um, that just overall makes it good enough. But yeah, there are plenty of ways for it to line up poorly.
Yeah, it was definitely much more interactive than the pre-board games, which were
Yeah,
very lopsided.
a lot of those games I just had it on turn three anyway.
Right, right. I don't even know if you had protection, but I'm assuming decent chance you have even protection on turn three, and I can't really interact. Like I said, like I've, s- my deck list at least it's gonna change, but the list I had been playing at the last week or so, uh, had been very weak to any creature based deck. Just that's its
Hmm.
configuration.
Gotcha.
Uh, all right. If there's no more questions, I don't want. I know it's late over there. Um, and there's no question from your side. I think we can just call it a night, and then I'll Venmo you the $50.
Sounds good. Like,
All right. Last call on my side. I don't know if you want to do a last call on your side,
yeah,
but
last call. Any questions? We are both happy to answer. But yeah, I'm also happy to go to sleep.
all right. Looks like no more. I'll post my. You want to share your socials? I can post it in my chat here.
Um, yeah, I'm basically einstein9998 on everything.
Okay. So I'll just.
Twitter, Blue Sky, YouTube. I haven't uploaded to YouTube in a while, but this is decent content. I might edit it a little bit.
Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna sign off. Let's see who I'm gonna raid. But before I sign off, I'm just gonna stop the recording first, and then raid, and then sign off.
All right.